Check, 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 check. All right, and we're live, just like that. Okay, welcome to the Inspired Idiots Show.
Blah, blah.
So today we are going to be talking with Ahmed. Ahmed is a entrepreneur who helps restaurants primarily,
Mhm.
and he helps them get more customers coming in. Basically, setting up things so that they can essentially get more people in the door. I mean, it's really simple as it is. Help them make more money off their customers, help the customers come back in again,
Mhm.
get the reviews, all that kind of stuff. He was in the restaurant industry before himself. And he recently, or not recently, I suppose he had came into local marketing vault, which is basically just an online program where it teaches you how to help these businesses get customers, whether it's restaurants, HVAC. There's like 30 different industries that they help with.
Small
And
service businesses.
yeah, small, yeah, pretty much. So Ahmed, we actually talked to him before, and we're going to talk to him again today. The first time we interviewed him was more for ourselves than anything else.
Just trying to meet people.
And yeah, we when we first joined the program and got in, we wanted to meet all the people that were successful, what they were doing, asking them some questions. And this was before we were doing this kind of live format and interviewing them like with good questions. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to interview him again. Um,
Basically, sorry to cut you off there.
yeah,
Just
fuck me, right?
I feel like you're done saying important things. What we're so sad.
I am.
What we're trying to do with this interview series is just talk with different people who have built successful online businesses. And that's often going to look like people who did the local marketing vault program, because we've just come to believe that it is the best, if not one of the best programs out there for beginners who want to get into online business, because it does teach you really valuable skills that anybody would use in an online business. It teaches you sales skills, it teaches you how to get leads, it teaches you how to provide value to other businesses, which whatever kind of online business you're going to get into, those are all skills that are going to serve you in some way. So we get a lot of our interviewees from people who are successful in that program. And Ahmed's story is really cool because he was a restaurant owner. So he really understands the industry, and anybody who's ever worked in a restaurant, like in the kind of managerial side, knows that it's a tough industry. Like your profit margins are pretty low. It can be hard to get people in the door without offering additional discounts and stuff like that. So I think it's cool that he's focused on helping restaurants, and I think he's kind of a good example in that whatever business you get into, if you can solve a problem that you experienced when you like were in that business, it already gives you a foot in the door. So it's really organic for him to reach out to restaurant owners because he was one and he knows like what they struggle with and stuff. So if there was ever a problem that you experience in your professional life, that shows you what opportunities you could then serve other people with.
Yeah, and I mean, if you wanted to join this program, sweet. We would take an affiliate commission for you joining if you came through us. If you don't, go to the website. Cool. But basically, we chose to actually interview a lot of these people because we've been so immersed in this community. And we felt like the best thing that we can do is try and shine a spotlight, if you will, on all these entrepreneurs who are coming through this community and what they're doing and how they're building their business. Because ultimately, like, when people are thinking about doing business, it's more or less what are those actions you have to do to actually build it. It's honestly, it's so weird. It's
Yeah.
not even about the services. And that's the one thing that coming into this community, interviewing these people that are much more successful than us at running this type of business, what they've done. And really, it's just they're having conversations with business owners, they're finding a problem for them, and then they're helping them with the solution, whether they're doing it themselves or they have a team that handles that for them. And very much, I at least believe that business is not just, hey, let me do this service for you myself, and then you are kind of self-employed. For what we like to look at is how are these people actually building their business, so starting it off and then actually scaling into a team. So that's why we're really focusing on mainly people who have been really well in this program and built a team. We've interviewed some people that haven't been at that point yet, right? Like that just started the program, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see what their wins have been, but primarily super interested in people who are building a team and what they need to do it, so that when we talk with other community members and they're like, oh, I just can't figure it out. Like, I don't know why, like this doesn't work. Oh, it's like, well, you sound like a bitch. And also, you know, some people have stuck it in for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's not that the business model itself doesn't work, because this business model is business. Like it sounds stupid, but like you are literally the lowest form of business or the easiest form of business. You're not building a product, trying to make sure it looks good and all this stuff. You're literally just like, hey, you got a problem. You don't want to hire somebody to do it for, as an employee, spending $3, $4, $5,000 per month, plus like insurances for employment and all this stuff. How about I'll just do it for you? I specialize in this. I'll do it for you for $1,500, $2,000. If it's more specialty service, could be even 5,000. But that's really what we're focused on. He's running a bit late here, so we're just kind of rambling. But
I think that's a good point that you just made, though, that when you say building a team, some people automatically assume that like if you're getting into an online business and you're a solopreneur and you're like, I'm literally just getting started, don't think that when we say build a team, we mean like you need to hire employees or else you're not going to make this work. I would say probably like 99% of entrepreneurs did start out by themselves and they just figured out, okay, this is what I want to do. Okay, this is how I'm going to make money doing it. And you just keep taking that next step. But what a program like LMB teaches you how to do is how to eventually start outsourcing things so that your business can keep growing without you having to put like 80 hours a week into it. So building a team is not necessarily always bringing on full-time employees. It might be like, hey, I'm spending a lot of my time making thumbnails for my YouTube videos and I'm not that good at it. So I'm just going to find somebody who's really good at making thumbnails and just hire them as like a subcontractor and just pay them to do just that thing. So it's outsourcing and learning what you really like and what you're really good at and what you would rather pay somebody else to do. And it gets really fun when you get to that point, because in the beginning you're going to do everything yourself and you're going to realize what you suck at.
Well, it's problem solving. Like it's really like, if I can take this one step at a time, what's the step I need to at least figure out the next step? Like, for example, we've been taking, James, we've been taking his social media over. We've been doing all his stuff. We've been creating posts. For us, it's like, okay, well, what's the first thing we need to do? Create some posts. That's the first thing. That's the first problem we need to solve. How can we create some posts? Can we take some that are reposted? Can we take some that have been posted before by other people and remake it to be for him? So these are all solutions that we don't need him for. Of course, we want to have him do stuff because that's the highest value, right? Like if he actually makes better videos, that solves our problem. We don't need to figure out editors. We don't need to figure out all that shit. We can just cut some clips ourselves, create some conversations with the audience he already has, and then ideally, right, help monetize that channel for him so we can actually reinvest those resources to make the entire process better. And, that's why we like interviewing these different entrepreneurs who are successful, because they figure out what a problem is. For most of these businesses or most of these people starting out, how the fuck do I get clients? Like, what services am I going to offer? How do I talk to them? And what do I do to talk to them? And then what were the actions that actually led them to get that result? And I think most of these people we've interviewed are completely different. They're all coming in with a different approach, with different services they offer, with different businesses that they help. And it's all overarchingly a service that they provide to help these businesses get customers. But the way they do it is completely different from one another. And to me, at least, that's pretty inspiring.
It's the most exciting part.
Because okay, if I can just like meet some business owners on Upwork, that could work. Or hey, if I can meet some business owners by just picking up the goddamn phone and calling them, crazy idea, we can do that. So
yeah,
that's what we found to be the most fun thing in terms of interviewing these people so far.
I thought it was pretty cool talking to Kayleen this morning, the cold calling demon, because I feel like one of the most common things that we hear from people when we're talking to them about starting their online business is everybody has this fear of cold calling. They're like, am I going to have to cold call?
Yeah.
Like, it's like most people don't like it because it opens you up for a lot of rejection. And especially Kayleen was doing like 200 calls a day. Just imagine how many rejections that is a day. But if you can just not let that intimidate you, like, I just think it's so cool, the different ways that people get clients. And people hate cold calling, and then we talked to this guy who just built his whole business off of it. I think it's really exciting hearing how different people approach growing their business and then you can take something from that and be like, oh, that's cool. Like this person did this little Upwork hack. I'm going to try that. That's awesome. I love this shit.
And honestly, one of my favorite parts about this entire process is talking about the dark days for these people. Is figuring out, okay, like, yeah, it's all great when it's like, wow, I'm an amazing entrepreneur and I got this business. But like, I like hearing the struggle story because that is the most relatable thing for a lot of people. And if, people really want to do something on the side, whether it's just to make a couple grand or if it's to build something that turns into massive, they need to understand that those dark days will come.
Yeah.
You will go through it. There is no really like good business mentor out there that is going to say you'll never have the what the fuck am I doing moment.
Yeah.
You're always going to have that. It's going to come in and it's like this dark little demon because that's actually what keeps you going. And when you have your own business, you can start it and have minimum time on the side. But if you really want to grow something big, like and by big, I mean 50K a month, 100K a month, like
life-changing
something crazy. I mean, that's what I'm interested in the most. Those people are always like, yeah, man, like you're going to run around a lot. You may have shit blow up on you all the time. You're
going to have days when you want to quit and you're like, what am I doing? And the people who make it and actually hit those goals are the people that just don't give up during that. Like, that's the one thing I'm learning is that every single person we've spoken to talks about how shitty it was and how they went through a period where they're like, yeah, this isn't working, but I'm just going to keep doing it. Like, that's the common thread is they just didn't stop. And I don't think you're ever going to meet a successful entrepreneur that tells you that entrepreneurship is easy because it's not. But you just kind of have to embrace that. Like, you're in this for the long haul. You're in this because you want financial freedom and you want to build your life your way. So when somebody hangs up on you or rejects you or a deal falls through, like, okay, next.
Yeah. And I think it's really like important to document these things. And I think there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of people making content around, business successes and look at this guy's crazy $2.8 million per year business and what does he do and how does he do it. But what I always find is that they do not talk about the dark days, the dark ages, if you will, right? They don't really go into it and be like, well, how did that actually work? What were you actually doing? How'd you actually leave your job?
Mm-hmm.
What decisions did you make? Did you just burn the bridges and go all in? Or is it more like, hey, I'm going to just like work as many hours as I possibly can for as long as I can to really make this work. And that's something for me, I feel like has been great to see because I'm definitely that guy that's like, fuck it, man, I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to quit everything I'm doing and then do this one thing.
Yeah, you kind of have to pick which hard you want because there are a lot of people who are not comfortable leaving their job. And we've spoken to some entrepreneurs who like wouldn't advise that to people. They're like, don't leave your job until you're like set up in this new thing. But then you talk to other people that are like, no, burn the bridges. The only way you're going to go all in is if you burn the bridges. And that's kind of the approach that we took. Like, we just eliminated all other options so that we did have that fear of like, we have to make this work because we have nothing else. So it just kind of comes down to like, what hard do you want? Do you want the hard of fear of like, I've burned all the bridges, I have to make this work, and that little bit of more like kind of stress on your chest? Or do you want the hard of, I'm not going to give up my job yet, so I'm going to be grinding because I'm going to be putting my 8 hours in there and then coming home and doing 3 more on my side hustle? It comes down to which hard you want and what you're willing to commit to actually make it happen. I'm going to go check where Ahmed's at. BRB.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, here he is.
How's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Hey, Ahmed.
Yes. How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing, man?
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah. It's on me because I put a note under my link, but because I was late and I was like, oh, okay, let's just hop on the link. So I just hopped on the link and yeah. So sorry. How are you guys?
It's all good. We're good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a while.
I know. I feel I was probably like almost a year ago, or maybe 9 months or something when we first talked to you. It feels like so
Yeah,
long.
yeah. Nice shirt, Alex. Love the
Thank
logos.
you. Thank you. Yeah, just
Yeah,
printing them up real easy, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
they look good. They look good.
Cool. Well, we kind of gave some context on you before you hopped on, and how we met through the program, and that you focus on helping restaurants. So why don't you kind of give us a little bit of background on what you were doing before, and then what your business kind of looks like today?
Cool. So I did a lot of things. This is my 17th years of owning businesses. So technically, this is my fourth business. It's the most
Mm.
fun one and the easiest one to make money in. If anybody owns a business like brick and mortar and you're thinking online, dude, online lives a lot longer and you have a much happier life. Let's just put it this way. Um, so yeah, I started focusing on restaurants, and then I kind of evolved into lawyers, fitness. Now I have 3 clients for a fitness app. We're working together, just growing them and blowing them up. Um, the first client that I had for the fitness app was at 200 members, but now it's like way above the 1,000. Let's just put it this
Mm.
way. So we did a lot of good work for her, and then she referred me to another one, and then another one referred me to another one. So it's kind of like building a small, club of fitness enthusiasts who have apps who I market to, because that's what we do, right? And yeah, I did a lot of other things down the road. So restaurants is just one of the things. It's kind of like my bread and butter, but the
Yeah.
others are also there, because marketing is, once you understand the concept behind it, everything is working. You can literally do anything, right? It's just a matter of, okay, who's my target audience? What is the offer? How can I present that offer? Like the market, the medium, and the target, and then boom, you just have a campaign and you rock from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you pick the other industries that you've branched off into just based on personal interest, or how did you kind of pick where you focused?
Luck. It's just pure luck. So I love to work out. So when I had my first client, I met her on Upwork, and she was a running coach. Shout out to Meg, she's awesome. And we just hit it off because I like to work out. And part of what she does was she has this mobility and flexibility kind of thing. You work out, Alex. You understand? Like your arms hurt, your knees hurt, whatever hurts, right? Dude, don't flex. Come on. Come on.
You set him up.
I couldn't help it, man. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, well, yeah, of course I work out. Yes. Yeah. Anyways, so I kind of like got into everything she's doing because I kind of like it. And then I met Dre. Dre is amazing as well, and he's like all about like strength and working with kettlebells and stuff. So I like working out. I've been doing it for 8 years straight. So that's kind of like, okay, those conversations are fun to have with professional trainers who do this for a living.
Mhm.
And I'm obviously a novice, but I have experience in the gym, like I have the iron experience kind of thing. And it just kind of, goes together. Lawyers were a lot of fun too. I learned that because I worked for some, and then it just kind of blew up from there. I did a lot of med spa slash what do you call it, plastic surgeon kind of thing.
Mhm.
So I did that for a while. That was like one of my very first clients. He's a buddy of mine, and I was like, dude, I'll work for free. Just give me anything. Just give me anything.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
so. And I've been doing it with him for like what now? Almost 2 years since I started. So
Wow.
that's fun. So yeah, it's just pure luck, I guess. I wouldn't say
Wow.
I was like very strategic about it. No strategy at
Yeah.
all. Just bouncing shit off.
And what services are you doing for all these businesses? Is it a lot of like lead gen, helping them to get the customers? Is it like reputation management?
So it really depends, but most of it is just the whole shebang. I try to have like this holistic approach to marketing. So lawyers is just purely lead management and lead generation, and that's it, right? But
Mhm.
for instance, for the fitness industry, it's 95% message marketing. They have massive email lists, so we're always working on those email lists, trying to nurture, grow, and convert at the end of the day. Um, Most of the work that we do for our like restaurants is obviously lead gen, of course message marketing. Like the restaurants get the whole thing. Like anything that we offer I give to restaurants, because they need everything to like
Right.
there is the customers now customers later approach, that really ties very well to restaurants, specifically restaurants. Then the med spa kind of industry and the plastic surgeon industry, you do everything, but it stops where the conversion is, because they need to connect with the client, they need to start having the conversations, and they need to sell. And that's the biggest problem with a lot of the med spas that I've talked to. I've even worked with a med spa coach for a while, and that was like one of the most prevalent issues. Is it's not the matter of getting the lead in, it's the matter of the business being able to convert those leads into profitable sales.
Mm.
If that makes sense. So that was like my biggest struggle.
Right. Okay. So with like a restaurant, for example, how much can you charge a restaurant? Because I feel like a lot of people always think restaurants like low profit margins. It's like how much do you charge from them? Are you still very profitable with helping them out?
Oh yeah, 100%. So here's the thing. Restaurants are very tricky. So let's start with this. If you're talking to a restaurant owner who's not making at least 30 grand a month in sales, this guy is struggling,
Yeah.
because that's the fact, right? So in this specific scenario, he has one of two options. Number one, just keep doing what he's doing and stay struggling, because that's how it's going to be. Number two is hire someone to help him grow. Now, when it comes to restaurants, there are a few things that we need to have in mind that can help people. And I haven't said that enough, but it has to happen this way. Number one, brand identity. Okay. Brand identity for restaurants is more important than for any other niche that I've ever worked in, to be honest. And the reason is, why would I go and eat at a Mexican store 1 mile away, 1 kilometer away? You guys are from Canada, so you're sane. You do kilometers, right? so anyways, but 1 mile, 1 kilometer away, when I have somebody serving the same taco or the same burrito 500 meters away or 200 feet away, there has to be some reason for the client to come in, and that comes in with the brand. The brand is the base of everything. Then you look into their operations. And sometimes, as marketers, we go in, it's like, oh, well, yeah, please take my services. We're going to buy you whatever, blah, 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 right? But the problem is, okay, if you don't have a solid operation, if you don't have the cooks to make the food, if you don't have the team to serve your customers properly, if you don't have all of that, and I run a campaign, and all of a sudden it blows up in your face, and you can't handle all of these people, guess what's going to happen? Your wait time is going to increase. Your customer
Mhm.
satisfaction is going to be lower. Everything is going to go down the drain because I was successful, not because I sucked, right? But because your operations was not built to handle that kind of business. And that's one of the things that I learned as a restaurant owner myself. I built my operations, and during COVID, I was able to double my profits and double my sales because I had a very solid operation. I built 2 restaurants on top of the restaurant that I already had, and I marketed all 3. And as
Wow.
you're as a client, you never know. Like, I'm an Egyptian guy selling Egyptian food, Italian pasta, and fried chicken, all from the same location,
Wow.
making anywhere between 60 to 80 grand during COVID, online food online. That's it. How did I do it? I had a very solid operation in the kitchen first, and then the marketing comes third. So you see, start with brand, build operation, then the marketing. Marketing is the third piece of this. And then the last thing was kind of like the holy grail of restaurants would be, obviously for any business, but for restaurants is very, very important, is your reputation as a restaurant owner or a reputation as a restaurant. A restaurant with a poor reputation, just shut it down. I'm like, I'm not kidding. If you have like 1.5 stars on 1 star or Yelp on 1 star or on Google, dude, you're already like, there is nothing that I can do. Like, you know what I mean? But if you're like at 3.2 and now we have like a few problems, okay, let's address the problems first, because when somebody gives you a 1-star review, as a restaurant owner, you have to see, okay, do they have a point? Right? Yes, Karens exist, Kevins exist, whatever you want to call it, right? But the question becomes, I've had my fair share of Karens, trust me. But the majority of the people who might give me a 1-star review are actually, they have a point. Like they have okay, so this should not have happened. And it's like, sit down, and that's like me as a restaurant owner sitting down. It's like, okay, how do I fix that problem so it doesn't affect other people? Because it is an obvious problem. And I look at it from a perspective of, cool, that's a very good idea. Let me see how I can fix it. And then I push from there. Now, before I started LMV, I wasn't like able to generate reviews on the fly. I wasn't able to do QR codes. I wasn't able to do all of that. But I still maintained a 4.7 stars and as an Egyptian restaurant in Morgantown, West Virginia, which is good. So, and the reason is I took 1 star, every 1-star review. I didn't take it as like, these people are out to get me, but I took it as, cool, here's the problem, here's how I can fix it, and then let's take it from there. And once you start really digging into other people's reviews, you will see like a few prevalent issues that have not been addressed by the business owner, or in this case, the restaurant owner. And if he doesn't fix it, I'm not a magician. Like I can run campaigns to get you to maybe, like I've had one client, he has like 3.2, right? We started running review management campaigns. Now we're at 4.2. But for every 5-star reviews we get, 5, 6, 7, 5-star reviews we get hit by 1-star review. One 1-star review will negate the work that we've done for 7.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, that's how the game is played. Yeah. So it's operations comes first, then everything else.
Right.
That's why restaurants are tricky.
Right. So if you had this, restaurant that you're talking about, 4.7, right? You're killing it out here. Maybe you didn't have all these little gimmicks or tricks that you could pull, but like what got you into starting something like Local Marketing Vault? Like, was it specifically to market your restaurant more, or was it like you wanted another business that you wanted to start?
So my wife, the real boss, was like, nah, we're not gonna keep doing this anymore. So we the way we had the restaurant was, I'm the manager, I'm the owner, I'm the front guy, but she's the main operations, the head of operations. So it wasn't easy. Like working in kitchens is not fun. So 80-hour days, or I'm sorry, 80-hour weeks. It felt like 80-hour days, trust me. Like it's not an easy job.
I was gonna say 80-hour days, you were a magician.
Oh yeah, I try. So it was so hard, and at one point she was like, I can't keep doing this anymore, and we're just like, okay, I know how to do marketing. I'm interested in that. That's something that I can really do. And during my restaurant years, I had a social media manager and I had a lead generation manager. Like I had one person running my Facebook ads and I had one person doing my social media. So I was like, I'll be John. John was the guy running the ads, right? And I liked writing ads. So I was like, I'll be John. I'll just have to learn how to do it. Took me a good 6 or 7 months of, grinding and struggling and doing stuff until I just got my first client, and kind of happened from there.
Okay, so did you shut down the restaurant, then go all in on marketing?
Yeah, she was like, "I'll kill you if we keep doing this."
I'm over it.
Yeah. I have a photo of the day she told me that, and she was so pissed off, and I was so like this, and I had my son. He's like, all right, here's what's gonna happen. Yes, we'll fix it, but it's gonna be a very bumpy road until we get to, like, because we're making good money, right? So when you have a business, you're making good money, and now you're shutting it off, you're gonna lose all of that income. So sometimes when we're like so tired, we don't think about the loss that we're gonna have, right? So I told her, I'm gonna take a photo. When push comes to shove, when things get dark, you don't complain, because there's gonna get a lot of bad things that are gonna happen. And she actually, to be honest, she never complained. Like, she was like, I'd rather live poor than live in this hellhole of life. And yeah, that was it. Now she's doing her thing. She has a blog. She's happy. She's like still cooking. I'm still getting fat, and yeah, everybody's happy.
I love that. I mean, before you came on, we were actually talking about how that's really a big part of the reason why we like interviewing people, is because we like hearing about the struggles and the dark days. And it's kind of a common thing between everybody we've spoken to who has now grown a successful business, is like, it's not easy. And for some people, you know, we were saying you have to choose your hard. You can choose the hard of burn the bridges, quit the job, and go all in, or you can choose the hard of maintain the job while you start a side hustle. So it sounds like you took the first approach, and you're like, hey, the restaurant's done, we're doing online business now.
Yeah, it was all in. It was all in, and I'm glad I did it. But during the hard part, dude, it wasn't fun.
Oh, man, I bet,
you know,
yeah.
it's tons of. So I would put it this way: if you have a job and you're satisfied with your job, at least a little bit, don't quit your job. Okay, so because it's not like, as a coach, as someone who coaches people, as someone who's working with LMV from the coaching side of things, a lot of the times people give up on themselves rather than give up on the process, because the process is the process, right? You talk to James, you talk to Jason, you talk to any of the big guys, and like, they're literally going to tell you the same stuff that I'm saying. Just be consistent, talk to as many business owners as you can. And one of the things that I always say to everybody when I first meet them is like, dude, we're the few, they're the many. Like, 30 million businesses in America, USA alone. I'm not even talking about Canada, right? Add maybe 15 million in Canada. That's 45 million businesses of people who can speak your language, or you can get with just a phone call. Okay, let's do the math on how many marketers out there, good or bad, beginners or not beginners. They won't even come as 1%. Like, 1% is 4.5 million. I'm sorry, that's going to be 450,000. Okay, so let's do the math on that. So you have limitless opportunities when it comes to growing a digital marketing agency. When you run the numbers, it's just a matter of how many times am I going to make calls? How many times am I going to, like, one of the things that I really put me into perspective was listening to Jason, because he had his day job and he would send out cold emails. And then between lunch and like on his lunch break, he would go and make the calls. And I was like, dude, is amazing. Like, that's awesome. During my time between the restaurant and between actually having paying clients, I was driving for DoorDash and Uber Eats, right? So what I would do is I would crank up my my radio to all the LMV stuff, all the marketing stuff. What is a funnel? Audiobooks. Just keep your brain engaged. And before I go out to drive, I would just sit down on my laptop and just send proposals, send emails, make calls, do everything that I can. And it's not hard. Like, it's really not that hard to get in touch with people, because at the end of the day, what is the thing that is common between a carpenter, a restaurant owner, a doctor, a lawyer? Everybody wants to make more money. Guess who has the faucet for the money?
Yeah.
It's literally that simple.
And so in those dark days, if you will, like when you first started, you're driving the Uber, you're driving the DoorDash, all that stuff. How long do you feel like it took you to get your clients? Like when you were getting people in the door, and also what was the method you used to get them and reach out when you were doing all that?
So first client ever, how long it took? Like 6 months, 6 to 7 months. It was yeah, 6 to 7 months. I actually started with affiliate marketing before I even started with LMV,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really like. I wasn't good at it. Like it just sucked. Um, but I learned what a funnel is. I learned what copy is. I learned all of the necessary skills, at least the basics of it, all necessary skills to run a marketing campaign. Was I good? Of course not. I sucked. But I had the kind of like an idea of what goes on, right? But here's the thing: even if you suck, compared to the business owner, you have the knowledge that they don't have,
Yeah.
right? So even like one of the things that James always say is like you just need to be one chapter ahead. And from like with LMV, with the course that we have, dude, we're like hundreds of chapters ahead. Okay, so this is that simple. And the first client, I was listening to one of the top 10K videos on the group, and one of them was like, I get clients from Facebook groups, and I was in restaurant owner groups, like I was on a ton of them, and she's still my client till this day, by the way. She's amazing.
Well,
And she was like, I'm looking for a loan. And I asked her, like, why are you looking for a loan? And she was like, oh, well, I'm not making enough sales, this and this and that. I was just like, why don't you just make more money? She was like, how? I was like, well, marketing. That's what marketing exists for. And we had our first conversation, and I just pitched her like $500. I was super excited about it. And she said yes. And my wife was like, why are you red? I'm like, I can't believe it. Somebody's paying me for this. and just, it started coming in. We had 5 times her sales within the first 5 months.
well,
So she didn't need the loan anymore, obviously. And she kept growing from there. And she's doing very well now. She's looking to open a new location. So
Wow.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
That
that's
must
awesome.
feel so good.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Especially
Yeah.
working with someone all this time to get to that result. It's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to say that like you made the difference between somebody closing their business and now not only keeping it open but expanding. I mean, you did that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. She had an excellent brand. I polished the brand a little bit. I played with this, I played with that, I made it better, but she already had an excellent brand and she was excellent with her operations. So the
Mm-hmm.
marketing piece just came in to just seal the deal. Like it wasn't that hard to put it in. And then after that, she started doing social media, and she got a very good social media person who just shoots amazing food videos. And yeah, man, that's all you need. At the end of the day, that's all you need.
Mm.
Okay.
After that, all of the other clients that I got at the beginning were Upwork, 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 Upwork. If you're new and you don't know what's up, just get your first 5-star reviews and just push for Upwork. And
Mm.
I would really sit down maybe 3 or 4 hours just submitting proposals, and I had nothing else to do, so let's just do that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And yeah, it
Well,
just picked up from there.
and in hindsight, why do you think it took you that 6 to 7 months to land your first client?
Because I was more focused on the affiliate marketing at that point, because I bought an affiliate marketing course. I was learning everything, and I don't think I was confident enough to do anything because I didn't understand like what a top funnel is, what is the bottom of the funnel, what's the okay, all of the the lingo and the small stuff that we need to learn. I didn't know what that is. So it took me some time to kind of learn it. And I'll be honest, I sometimes, especially in the beginning, I was a little bit worried that, okay, what if they think that I suck, right? Because that's something that you have to go through. And for the first few calls that I had with business owners, I really was like very like anxious.
Mm-hmm.
But then like once I started getting my first call, my second call, my third call, and I started realizing, well, these guys all need money, I know how to make them money. They should be anxious. I shouldn't be anxious. I'm like the happiest person alive. I'm Santa at this point, right?
Yeah.
So why am I anxious? Like, there is no need to be anxious. Let's just see if the funny part is, you start qualifying your customers, not the other way around. Like, I literally just turn business away now. Okay, yeah, I don't think we're a good fit. Here's the problems that you have. Go and fix them, then come back. And the interesting part is, when you say to someone, I don't want to sell anything to you, they want you to work with them even more. Because most of the time, everybody wants to sell. I'm like, dude, I can't, like, you have everything wrong. Like, how can I work with you? Here are the problems. Go and fix them first. And I do the work. One of the things that we have to be very clear with, if you're a marketer, especially in the e-com industry, e-com, lawyer, anything that has a little bit of, even if you don't know the industry, let's say you just don't know the industry, do your homework first. Okay? Go down the rabbit hole of, how can I get leads for this specific individual? Go to Facebook ads library. Go to LMV, start asking questions to people who have done it. Go and check out other businesses who are doing it. Go into funnels of other businesses. Go into email lists of other businesses who are competitors of your client. And start understanding what the hell is going on. Watch YouTube videos of people who have agencies who are running ads for your client or for that niche. All of this information is online. All of it is free. All you have to do is just put in the effort, right? But once you start doing that, you can easily come up with a plan, and you go present that plan to your client. And your client is going to love you, because 95% of people don't do that work.
Yeah.
They just want to sell.
They're not doing anything. Yeah. And when you said basically 6 months, 7 to get your first client, but you were also, so did you like come into LMV, you bought that, but then you also bought like an affiliate marketing course, and then you're like, I'm going to do the affiliate marketing and then I'll come back.
I actually, so a funny story. I bought an affiliate marketing course, and I bought a coaching package, right? And during that time, I was talking to my affiliate marketing coach, and I was like, dude, I'm a business owner. I've always been a business owner. The only conversation that I can have that is like makes sense to anybody is with other business owners, because that's what I do. And he was like, okay, go and hop into the funnels of other people who are selling to business owners. And James was one of those people. And the emails started like flowing like crazy. You know how it is. Like, James just doesn't stop with the emails. And like 6 months in, I was like, this affiliate marketing thing, I just don't know how to do it. And one of the emails that I've read for James was like, it resonated. And I was like, yeah, cool. I'll just be John. Like, I'll just run ads like John for other people and start the conversation. And that's how I went into LMV. But by the time I came to LMV, I already had a clear idea of what marketing is, but I didn't know how to run an agency. That's the part that I really needed to learn. And, you know, Genesis was more than sufficient for me to have a clear understanding of what I need to do and just push from there. You know, that's it.
Okay. So did it take you then 7 months from starting LMV to getting your first client?
First month after starting LMV, I got my first client. I joined in January. I finished the course mid-January because I joined in February. I finished the course mid-March, and I got my first client the 21st of March.
Okay.
So it's just like 1 month within joining LMV, I had my first client.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it was
and
fun.
that was that person from that Facebook group.
Yeah. You guys have the case study. It's the case studies journey from Grits and Waffles.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my first success story ever.
Nice. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So with helping other, businesses, I mean, like, what do you feel like, was there like a huge learning curve that you had to do when you joined LMV and then you were going through the material and then you started implementing this? Or did you really just kind of take what LMV had and just kind of ran with that?
So for restaurants, it was a little bit tricky because most of the LMV stuff is not really geared towards restaurants. Mm-hmm. And restaurants are its own beast in a way because, the competition is very hard. The options are like massive. And even if somebody loves your restaurant, they're not going to eat there more than once a week tops. It's unless you have like McDonald's and they're broke, so they eat like 3 times or something. But usually, other than that, like any other restaurant, people have the options and they just get bored quickly. So I kind of had to like kind of reinvent the process for restaurants. But at the end of the day, it's ad, offer, follow up, conversion. That's it. It doesn't matter. Like just throw the ad, have a good offer, have a good follow up, have a conversion. And that's kind of like the thing that I watched the other videos and like, cool, okay, let's just put a 50% off because I was broke, she was broke. Let's just try something. And it worked. And then, okay, so 50% is too much. She's not making any money. Let's just make it 25% off. Oh, it's still working. We're getting leads. Awesome. Let's just send a few emails out. And you learn on the job kind of thing. And then you go out. Again, that's one of the things that I always would recommend. Don't think you know it all, even if you're making a lot of money, even if you're successful. Nobody knows it all. So go out, seek knowledge, see what other people are doing in your niche and in your industry, and learn more from others who've done better than you or done differently. Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure there are other marketers who can give me massive advice about stuff that I'm already doing.
Right.
Maybe a very small piece even.
Yeah, that's a really good point though, because we obviously help people join the program when it's a good fit. And that's something that we hear a lot is from people who are already kind of learning about marketing is people will very often assume like, well, I already know that. I know how to get leads and stuff. It's like, okay, well, you just told me that your goal is 20K a month. Why aren't you hitting that? Because people kind of start to tell themselves that they know everything. And I think you hit on a really good point is it's never a bad thing to learn from people who are ahead of you.
100%. Even those who are ahead of you, they're learning from somebody else.
Yeah.
Sometimes learning from somebody who's might be less than them when it comes to the whole experience, because this is kind of the beauty of the industry. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because the blessing is even if you're new and you're willing to learn and willing to try and willing to put in the work, you can beat monsters in this business. Right? And even if you are not like well established, you can still learn new tricks and you learn new things because the algorithms are always changing. People are always changing. Platforms are always changing. Who would have thought that TikTok would be the leading video platform 2 years ago, 3 years ago? No one, right? It's TikTok is brand new. Like if you think about it, TikTok right now today is like the thing, but before COVID, we're 2023, we're ending 2023. 4 years ago, nobody knew about TikTok. Nobody cared about TikTok. But now when I'm running an ad, the first thing I'm thinking is like, okay, will it fit well in Reels? Will it be in TikTok form? Will it be easy for people to see? Like TikTok has set the industry standard for running good ads, especially when it comes to video, right? So just be a student, because if you want to succeed in anything, just stay a student. You're never going to be an expert.
Yeah, that's actually something that we were going to ask you. We always like to ask people if somebody's watching this and they're considering making the leap into online business, or they're considering joining a program like LMV, what kind of advice would you pass along to them?
That's a good one. Okay, so first things first, be very, very clear on your goals. Okay. Understand that this is a process, follow the process, and just keep your eyes on the prize. Because when it gets a little bit boring, when it gets like, one of the biggest things is like, okay, your job when you first start out, like maybe the first couple of months, would be just watch Jason talk. That's literally it. How hard is that? Well, okay, I'm not making money. Yes, you're not making money because you haven't really made anything happen. You didn't take action. And I think if you are, as a person who's thinking about joining this, A, have your goals set up straight. B, make sure that you actually do the work and then blame anybody else. C, just go out and make things happen, And I guarantee you, come back to me, send me a message, tell me I took action and I failed. Because if you take action consistently, you will never fail. Not in this business. Again, we're the few, they're the many. That's it. If you failed with restaurants, go and turn around and do med spas. If you failed with med spas, turn around and do plumbers. If you failed with plumbers, turn around and do whatever. Like, the sky's the limit. So it's just a matter of taking action consistently, and you'll never fail. Not in this business. That's how I see it, at least.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly said. The last thing that I want to ask you is, we just always like to ask people, in growing your online business, you obviously are doing pretty well. You're a coach now in the program. So have you kind of found any little habits or productivity hacks that have helped you, make sure that you're growing and heading in the right direction?
Delegate. Once you start getting to a point where I have a lot of clients, I have tons of things are happening, because if you don't delegate, you don't grow. Right? Like, one of the biggest things that I had during my restaurant was, building operations. Again, if you think about it, the brand, operations, marketing, reputation kind of flows for any other business too. If you have a good, solid operation, like, what is my onboarding process today? How can if you want to move from 5K to 10K, your onboarding needs to change, and the amount of people who are doing the work for you needs to change. Okay? If you want to move from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40, how many people are working? How many people are doing the work for you? Because you can only be a one person at one time, and you can only do one task at a time. I'm very good with Facebook ads. I would say I'm one of the best people in the group. That's me just being, ooh, look at me, I'm good, right? But the reality is, even if I am that good, that doesn't mean that I need to run all of Facebook ads for all of my clients, right? And then I'm not the best person at email marketing, but I do have a clear understanding in that, but I have people writing emails for me. Do I go in and do I kind of play with it and draft it and just do this and do that? Yes, fine. But the main copy, the work, the research, all of the crap that goes before writing the email, that's not me doing it. Because if it became me, and I'm like, it's all me, I need to get all of the money in, you're not going to grow. You're going to be a guy who serves maybe 5, 6, 10 clients, and you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to hate your life. Yes, you're going to make money. So I was making money at the restaurant, but I was working so much time. I don't want to be doing that same mistake again, right? So make sure to delegate to people who you trust, and to also train. So don't expect somebody coming in and say, oh, well, they're going to figure it out. No, dude, you're the boss. It's your responsibility to make sure that they do the job properly, right? So you have to be able to A, train, B, delegate, and have trust in the people that you've hired, and then push from there.
And at what point do you feel like is the time to start delegating?
Can you handle more? If you wake up and you're like, holy moly, my to-do list is so big, I cannot finish it. Even if I do every single thing in my list, I'm still not done, and the day will go. Like, before I started delegating, I would sleep at 3 a.m. I work all the way to 3 a.m. Yes, I go and work out. Of course, spend 2 hours at the gym, because why not, right, Alex?
Hey.
But yeah, guys are idiots, Kelsey. You should know that by now.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But I still, I slept at 3 a.m. Like, geez, what's going on? Oh, okay, so much work. Let's see, how can I bring someone in to, can you write my emails? What is the task that I don't want to do and that is taking so much of my time, and I can delegate it to somebody who can do it, and once I teach them how to do it, it's done. Now, the other piece of this would be use AI. Come on. It exists. Just pay some money and subscribe to some good AI, or learn how to use ChatGPT properly, use good prompts, understand that it's not like, it's a one thing for everybody. You have to write the good prompt. Whatever you put in is whatever you get out, especially when you're talking to AI. So the quality of the prompt is what's going to really matter when it comes to the end result. And once you put that together, you're good. You start delegating.
I Nice.
And what kind of tools do you like to use in your business to help it run and manage your team and execute for your clients?
So Jasper is one big one, especially for writing like the first draft for emails. Here's the thing: I don't use it to write the email, but I use it to write the first draft just to give me an idea. I also use it to write the first draft of all ads, because it's just helps with, okay, here's the stuff that I need written. Give me a few things that I might not see, because sometimes you want to talk to a specific subset of people, and you're not, like, I'm Arab, so I can't really talk to the African American with their language, right? And I want to promote a product that speaks mostly to African Americans. How do I do that if I don't know how to talk, right? So I rely on AI to help me get through that. And the second thing is definitely Slack. Slack is a godsend when it comes to communicating with the team and everybody else. Other than that, I don't think we really need much. Obviously, go high level ATB, like, that goes without saying. Like, I didn't even think about it because it's like kind of standard. Like, I live with it.
It's basic.
Yeah, it's basic. You have to have it. Like, there is no way around it. And I'm right now, again, being a student, I'm kind of learning how to use ManyChat for lead generation and whatnot. It's just, I'm still testing it, so I'm still new to it. But let's see if it's gonna be one of my tools or not. And yeah, you take it from there.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, we appreciate your time, Ahmed. We don't want to take you too much longer here, but we appreciate you hopping on with us. And
that's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on again. Pleasure seeing you twice. What a treat.
Yeah, man. Thank you. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day, guys, and we'll talk in the group.
Yeah.
So we're just